The story begins with a man named Arj, who wakes up inside a very expensive car. He is shocked and confused. Whose car is this? He taps the home button on the Tesla's map, and the car automatically drives him to a luxurious mansion. There he meets a man named Jeff, who tells him, "Sir, I am your assistant." Arj is stunned and asks, "Whose house is this?" Jeff replies, "It's yours, sir." What happened? Arj still cannot believe it. So he goes upstairs to see what is going on. There he finds pictures of himself, photos he never took in his real life. Suddenly, an angel named Gabriel appears. Gabriel tells him, "I have swapped your life with Jeff's." In reality, Arj used to be Jeff's assistant. Gabriel did all this so Arj would understand that other people's lives are not always better. Everyone has their own struggles, and Gabriel was sure that within a week Arj would beg to return to his old life. But Arj was actually very happy with this luxurious lifestyle. He relaxed, enjoyed, and lived comfortably. One day, while lying near the pool, he reminded Gabriel, "Do you even remember how my real life was? Why would I ever go back to that?" Then the movie shows Arj's old life. He was once driving while texting on his phone. Gabriel was sitting behind him at that moment. Gabriel alerted him just in time, saving him from a major accident. This was Gabriel's actual duty, saving people from accidents caused by phone usage. Arj was standing outside a shop with a long waiting line. This was his side hustle. He worked for a platform called Task Sergeant, where people earn money by doing small tasks for others. Arj had studied documentary filmmaking in college, but he hadn't received any good work for a long time. Because of that, he had to do odd jobs. Today, he was standing in line for someone else, and he would be paid for it. He waited for 2 hours, but then the shopkeeper came out and said the buns were sold out. The person who assigned the task canceled the order, and Arj earned nothing. Gabriel watched all this from afar. Along with this gig, Arj also worked another job at night. While working, a girl named Alina came to meet him. She asked him how the work environment was and whether he was happy with this kind of life. Alina wanted to form a workers' union to bring some change. But Arj replied, "Nothing is going to change. Don't waste my time." Later that night, they met again at a taco shop. Arj was exhausted and sleep-deprived. They talked, laughed, and shared a few light moments. Gabriel watched them from a distance as well. After work, Arj went to sleep inside his car, because that's where he lived. He didn't even have money for a motel. When his father called, Arj lied and said, "Yes, I rented a new flat. It's very nice." He then played a podcast to fall asleep, but even that asked him to pay $6 to remove ads. Gabriel felt pity watching all this. The next day, Gabriel attended a meeting of angels. Each angel has a different duty. One angel, Ezreal, helps people who are lost and hopeless, showing them a purpose, guiding them toward a better life. Gabriel listens carefully and feels inspired. He wants to do something meaningful too. He asks his manager, Martha, "I want to save a lost soul." Martha replies, "It's a very difficult task. First, you have to find someone who is deeply troubled. Then you must help them in some meaningful way. It's not easy." Gabriel says, "I know one person. He is very unhappy." Martha replied, "This is not your job. Your job is to prevent Alina's accident. If something happens to her, her life will go completely off track." But Gabriel's attention was focused on Arj, and because of that, he failed to stop Alina's accident. Luckily, nothing very serious happened, just that her date with Arj got canceled. They said they'd do it some other day. Arj had been working the whole day without any sleep. After that, he got a new task. He went to the house of a very rich man named Jeff. His job was to clean Jeff's garage. Jeff, like a typical rich man, was living a luxurious lifestyle. He would dip himself in cold water for 3 minutes, then spend 15 minutes in the sauna. During this time, Arj carefully organized and cleaned the entire garage. Jeff praised him. "You did a great job. I'll give you 5 stars. Arj saw an opportunity and asked, "You do everything alone? Do you need an assistant?" Jeff already liked his work, and he also liked that Arj was ambitious. So he said, "We could try a 1-week trial." Arj became Jeff's assistant and performed the role very well, arranging food, planning parties, managing everything. Jeff was extremely rich. He bought watches worth $500 just casually. Later, he gave Arj the company card and said, "Use this whenever you need to spend on my tasks." Because of this job, Arj's life slightly improved. He was no longer sleeping in his car. He was staying in a hotel. The next day, Arj was planning to go on a date with Alina. We told Jeff about it. Jeff said, "Wear this shirt. I have a jacket too. It's a bit small for me, but it'll fit you perfectly. And go to this restaurant. It's not too expensive. It's nice." Arj took Alina to the restaurant Jeff recommended. Jeff had also suggested a couple of dishes, but when they saw the prices, both were shocked. Instead of ordering the expensive dishes, they ordered cheaper items. Even then, the bill was very high. Arj didn't have that much money, so he reluctantly used Jeff's company card. The next day, Jeff found out. He said, "You used my card to pay for your own meal?" Arj replied, "I was going to tell you. The restaurant you recommended was way too expensive for me. I had no choice, or I would have been embarrassed. Don't worry, I'll return the money." But Jeff felt betrayed. It seemed like dishonesty to him. He fired Arj, saying, "I can't trust you." Arj packed his things and left. He lost his job too, and even on task sergeant, he wasn't getting any work. To earn a little money, he had to donate blood. Afterwards, his health got worse. His body felt weak, and he fell asleep sitting inside a shop. A guard woke him and said, "Get up, we have to close." When he came outside, he saw that the police had towed his car. Seeing this completely broke Arj's spirit. Gabriel watched everything and understood that Arj truly was a lost soul. He approached him and said, "I am an angel." Gabriel showed his wings and said he knew everything about Arj's life. He told Arj, "Don't worry, things will get better. Let me show you your future." He showed Arj that in the future he would work for a food delivery truck. He would be under so much pressure that he wouldn't even have time to use the bathroom. He'd be given a bottle to pee in. Gabriel showed that Arj, who currently slept in his car, would later move in with Alina to her mother's house. But her sister and her sister's boyfriend also lived there. A small house for 5 people. But it's okay, right? But instead of motivating Arj, Gabriel unintentionally depressed him further. Gabriel then said, "Don't worry, you won't stay there long. You'll get a job. You two will shift to another place. But even there, money will be tight. Your dog will fall sick, and you won't have money for treatment. But you'll still be happy." Hearing all this, Arj said, "What kind of miserable life is this? I'm not living like that." He hated the future he saw. Gabriel said, "I'm not even allowed to do this. Look at my wings. They're small. I'm a low-level angel. But I genuinely want to help you. Your life has value." Arj replied angrily, "You've only depressed me. That rich guy Jeff has the real life. People like us are born just to serve them." To prove Arj wrong, and to show that Jeff's life was not perfect either, Gabriel swapped their lives. And now the story came back to where it began. Arj was enjoying being rich. Suddenly Jeff arrived near him and said, "Sir, are you ready for the meeting?" Jeff said, "Go." Hearing this, Gabriel thought, now he'll understand what real meetings are like. But the meeting turned out to be very easy. The people there were casually chatting, and even the dinner bill was fully charged to the company. When Arj came home, a technician arrived to fix the pool heater. He said, "The heater is completely damaged. It will cost $35,000 to repair." Gabriel said, "See, such a huge expense. Now you understand how difficult the life of the rich is." But Arj replied, "I have plenty of money. It doesn't matter." He told the technician, yes, replace the whole thing. Install a new one." After this, Arj went to the store where he and Alina used to work. Alina had forgotten everything about him. Arj introduced himself again. This time, he took her to the same restaurant for a date and ordered the expensive dish he had skipped last time. And this time, the restaurant staff said, "Sir, it was wonderful serving you. Your meal is on the house. No bill for you." After the date, Alina and Arj kissed each other. A week later, Gabriel showed up again. He said, "1 week is over. Do you want to go back now?" He thought Arj would finally realize the value of his old life. But Arj said, "This life is amazing, bro. Why would I go back?" Then Gabriel realized the truth. He cannot send Arj back without Arj's permission. Meaning, if Arj wants, he can live this rich life forever. And at that moment, Arj had no plans to return to his old life. Because of this, Martha scolded Gabriel. She said, "What have you done? I gave you a simple task. Fix people's little problems, help prevent accidents. And you didn't even help Alina, which caused her accident." Her date got postponed, Arj took her to an expensive restaurant. He lost his job. All because of you. Now Martha said to Gabriel, until you fix everything, I'm taking away your wings. Only after solving all this will you become a proper angel. Meanwhile, at Arj's party, Gabriel arrived to meet him. Now even other people could see Gabriel. He asked Arj, don't you think what you're doing to Jeff is unfair? But Arj didn't care, so Gabriel restored Jeff's memories. Jeff was shocked. He couldn't believe he was working in his own house. The shock was so big that he fainted. After waking up, Jeff was told everything. He said to Arj, give me my life back. He proposed a deal. If you return your life right now, I'll give you $1. Arj shouted, your watches cost more than that. You disgusting man. But Gabriel said, this is not allowed. You cannot bribe each other to switch lives. Then Jeff confessed, I didn't know you didn't even have a home. I didn't know your situation was this bad. Otherwise, I wouldn't have fired you. But for one mistake, will you steal my entire life? Gabriel also explained things to Arj. Arj then agreed, but said, give me a few more days. Let me enjoy this life a bit before I return to my sad old life. Jeff agreed. Arj then challenged Jeff. You live my poor life for a few days. Then you'll understand how hard poor people live. Jeff arrogantly replied, if I were in your place, I'd become rich again in no time. He walked outside, but Gabriel stopped him. Gabriel said, I need a place to stay too. Jeff agreed, and they both slept in a hotel. But early in the morning, the staff told them to check out or pay. Jeff convinced them somehow that he'd pay at night. Jeff starts working like Arj. Next day, Jeff joined Task Sergeant, just like Arj used to. He didn't even know how to drive Arj's car, which had no 360 degrees, no tech. He crashed the car while reversing. Gabriel helped him the best he could. Jeff began to realize how difficult life is for poor people. Robots were replacing workers. Customers yelled at him for things he didn't even pack. Jeff said, dude, I didn't pack this. But the customer replied, I'll give you $1. Watch yourself. After a whole day of work, Jeff learned that he would get his payment after a week. He calculated everything and said, we spent more on fuel than we earned. We lost money. This meant they had to sleep in the car that night. Meanwhile, Arj was enjoying his luxurious life with Alina. One night he asked her, will you come with me to Paris this weekend? But Alina said, I have a union meeting. You know I'm trying to form a workers' union. Arj said, schedule the meeting for another day. Actually, he just wanted to take her to Paris once, before returning to his miserable old life. But this upset Alina. She didn't like that Arj was belittling her work. She said, my life may be small, but it matters to me. You stay in your fancy mansion. I'm happy in my simple life. Arj felt sad after she left. He kept texting her nonstop while driving. Please reply. Please reply. And because of this, he suddenly met with an accident. Gabriel told Jeff that Arj went into a coma. Since Gabriel was with Jeff, he couldn't stop the accident. Jeff yelled, your job is to stop people from using phones while driving. That's literally your job. Gabriel replied, how could I save him? I was with you. Now they had to wait. Jeff's problems kept increasing. He told Gabriel, this is not my life. Fix everything. What have you turned me into? Because Gabriel failed to prevent Arj's accident, he was fired from his angel job. Until he fixes everything, he will remain human. Now as a human, Gabriel felt very hungry. Jeff had to teach him how to eat a burger. Gabriel enjoyed eating food for the first time. Jeff checked online. People usually recover from coma in 2 weeks, and tomorrow I'm going back to my old office. I know everything about the business. When I talk, they'll think I'm a genius. Then I'll get a great job. But reality was different. They threw him out. They thought he was a hacker. How do you know so much about our company? Meanwhile, despite calling multiple times, the hospital refused to give any update on Arj because of privacy laws. Gabriel was busy enjoying human activities, using the internet, eating, laughing. He excitedly said, look, I'll show you a baby elephant. Jeff got irritated and said, bro, you also need to get a job. I can't support both of us. Gabriel started washing dishes in a restaurant. After receiving his first salary, he saw all the deductions and said, I earned money, but the government took all of it in taxes. What nonsense is this? A coworker told him, you might need another job. I worked 3 jobs myself. Gabriel was now suffering human struggles. Meanwhile, Arj woke up from the coma. A nurse said, 2 people were asking about you. If you know them, call them. Arj then got a mischievous idea. He asked the nurse, "Sometimes people lose memory after waking from a coma, right?" The nurse said yes. So Arj decided to pretend he had lost his memory. At that moment, Jeff received a food delivery request, and the address was his own mansion, where Arj was living in his place. Jeff understood that Arj had woken up. He rushed to the house angrily. But when he arrived, Arj acted like, "Yes, sir. Who are you?" Arj pretended, I don't remember anything. Do I know you? Sorry, bro. I don't remember anything. Who are you?" Jeff couldn't understand whether this was real memory loss or a lie. He told everything to Gabriel. Frustrated, Jeff said, "Give me to God. I don't care. I'll fight with him now." Gabriel replied, "I have no powers now. I'm human just like you." He had even started smoking and had become a full-on chain smoker. Jeff asked, "Are you going to keep washing dishes and smoking, or do you want your angel life back?" Hearing this, Gabriel got an idea. He said, "All this mess began when I couldn't do my job, saving Elena from the accident. If I can bring her life back on the right track, maybe Arj will also return his right path and choose to go back to his real life." Meanwhile, Elena was giving a big speech to motivate people to form a union, but she lost by a huge margin. Most people voted no. Gabriel became sad after seeing this. On the other side, Jeff got fired from his food delivery job because the company was replacing humans with robots. Frustrated, Jeff said, "This is too hard. How do people even live like this? In my old life, I just vacationed and attended a few meetings." Just then the police arrived and towed Jeff's car because of previous parking tickets. The officer said the longer the car stayed there, the higher the daily charges would become. Jeff was shocked. How is a poor person supposed to get ahead in this country? Gabriel said, "This is exactly what Arch went through." Now Jeff was completely hopeless. At this rate, they would starve. Then he remembered. His expensive watches were still in the house's safe, and he knew the password. When they reached the house, a huge party was happening. Arch was celebrating Jeff's 40th birthday in Jeff's place. Gabriel said, "Man, stealing doesn't feel right." Jeff replied, "This is MY stuff. How is it stealing?" They also saw Arch copying Jeff's dance moves. Jeff became furious. He slipped inside to take the watches. He grabbed a bunch of expensive watches and was about to leave when Arch suddenly appeared with a gun and fired shots. One bullet hit Jeff in the shoulder. Jeff screamed, "Are you crazy? Why are you shooting?" Arch reminded him, "When I was your assistant, you told me, if anyone enters the house, shoot first. Ask questions later." Jeff immediately understood that Arch remembered everything, and the whole memory loss was fake. Hearing the shouting, Gabriel came running. They took Jeff to the hospital. Jeff asked Arch, "Why did you lie?" Arch replied honestly, "My real life is miserable. There's no joy in it, and your life was full of fun. But fine, I'll switch back." But Gabriel said, "If you really wanted to change your life, you would have done it by now. You only feel bad for Jeff at this moment. Until you truly believe your life is worth living, you cannot go back." Jeff exploded. "Who would want that life back? I've lived it for 4 days. No one can want that." Arch said, "Let's go to my house, your house, and relax." The three of them lived together happily for a while. Then suddenly, Martha appeared to meet Gabriel. She scolded him. "I gave you such a simple job. Just stop people from texting while driving. But you got stuck here washing dishes and smoking cigarettes." Gabriel admitted, "It's very hard. How do I show Arch that his life is worth living?" Martha said, "Sometimes a lost soul doesn't need an angel. It needs a human." That evening the three went to eat tacos. Elena was there too, again trying to form a union. She had realized she must keep trying, even if she wouldn't win right away. Later, they went dancing. Arch noticed that Gabriel was dancing happily, but suddenly became sad and walked out. Arch followed and asked, "What happened?" Gabriel said, "I'm a stupid angel. I messed everything up. I became a chain smoker instead of helping anyone." Arch replied, "You came to show me that my life is worth living. You can't give up." Gabriel said, "Yes, I came to show you that. But instead of living your real life, you chose luxury." Arch said, "I don't need all this luxury. I just want a decent life. If I go back, will I get my job back? My car? Anything? It scares me." Gabriel said when he became human, he too was afraid. "Nothing worked for me. I had to wash dishes, sleep in a car, but there were good things too. I enjoyed dancing. I found a friend in Jeff, and I really like you too. Hearing this, Arch said, "You're a great angel. I always want you to be my angel." And remembering Elena's words, that one doesn't win instantly, but must keep trying, Arch returned to his real life. His car had been towed. Jeff woke up in his own home and found Arch's parking ticket there. When Arch went to collect his car, Jeff had already paid the ticket for him. Arch called his father and said, "Dad, nothing is going right." His father replied, "It's okay, son. Problems happen. I trust you. You'll fix everything." Arch felt better hearing this. Jeff then made huge changes in his company. Remove all these robots. Humans will deliver, and they will be paid more. The board objected, but Jeff said, "I own the most shares. My word is final." Arch returned to his old delivery job. He barely even had time to pee. Everyone else also quit the job. Arch then resumed searching for documentary editing work. His life slowly began improving. Whenever he ate, he kept a portion aside for Gabriel. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel.